We have a quorum. All right. As the vice chair of the commission, I call this meeting of the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission to order at 5:05 PM. This Zoom webinar is being live streamed on YouTube at www.youtube.com/MICH SOS Office videos. For anyone in the public watching who would prefer to watch via a different platform than they are currently using, please visit our social media at Redistricting MI to find the link for viewing on YouTube. Our live stream today includes closed captioning, ASL interpretation, and Spanish, Arabic, and Bengali translation services will be provided for effective participation in the meeting. Email us at redistricting@michigan.gov for additional viewing options or details on accessing language translation services for this meeting. People with disabilities needing other specific accommodations should contact redistricting@michigan.gov. This meeting is being recorded and will be available at www.michigan.gov/MICRC for viewing at a later date. This meeting is also being transcribed, and those transcriptions will be made available and posted on michigan.gov/MICRC, along with written public comment submissions. There is also a public comment portal that may be accessed by visiting michigan.gov/MICRC. This portal can be utilized to post maps and comments, which can be viewed by both the commission and the public. Members of the media who have questions before, during, or after the meeting should direct those questions to Edward Woods III, Communications and Outreach Director at the Commission, at woodse3@michigan.gov or 517-331-6309. For the purposes of the public watching and for the public record, I will now turn to the Department of State staff to take note of the commissioners present.
Good evening, commissioners. Please say present when I call your name. If you are attending the meeting remotely, please announce during roll call that you are attending remotely, and unless your absence is due to military duty, announce your physical location by stating the county, city, township, or village and the state from which you're attending. I'll start with Doug Clark.
Present.
Juanita Curry.
Present.
Anthony Eade.
Present.
Brittany Kellum. Rhonda Lang.
Present, attending remotely from Reed City, Michigan.
Steve Lett.
Present.
Cynthia Orton.
Present.
MC Rothorn.
Present.
Rebecca Zatella.
Present.
Janice Follett.
Present.
Aaron Wagner. Commissioner Wagner, it looks like we're having audio issues again, but I will mark you as present. Thank you. Richard Weiss.
Present.
Dustin Witches.
Present.
12 commissioners are present and there is a quorum.
Thank you very much. As a reminder to the public watching, you can view the agenda at www.michigan.gov/MICRC. I would now entertain a motion to approve the meeting agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Witches, seconded by Commissioner Lett. Is there any debate or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, it is moved and seconded that we adopt the meeting agenda. All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All opposed, please raise your hand and say nay. The ayes prevail and the agenda is adopted.
Madam Chair,
Yes, General Counsel.
please apologize. I apologize for the interruption. I just wanted to note that when Commissioner Wagner is able to have her microphone working, that we would need her to state her physical location unless she is on active military duty. And also consistent with the announcement at the commission's first meeting today, I would also like to note that the Grand Traverse County COVID dashboard has indicated that there's a spike in cases here, so that if people are choosing to wear their masks, that I wanted to make sure that that information was there for the benefit of the commissioners and the public in this room, this being a public facility.
Thank you very much. All right, at this point, without objection, we will now begin the public comment pertaining to agenda topics portion of our meeting. Hearing no objection, we will proceed with public comments pertaining to agenda topics. Individuals who have signed up and indicated that they would like to provide in-person public commentary to the commission will now be allowed to do so. Please step to the nearest microphone when I call your number. You will have 2 minutes to address the commission. Please conclude your remarks when you hear the timer. First in line to provide public comment is number 1. Please step to the microphone and you are invited to address the commission.
You hear me?
Now we can hear you. There you
Okay.
go.
My name is Gwen Allgeier. I live in Leelanau County, Maple City, Leelanau County. I would like to address the Michigan House districts. Leelanau County is presently part of the 101st District. That includes Leelanau, Benzie, Manistee, and Mason. And while we have in common our coasts, the areas are extremely different culturally and geographically. Frankly, there is never any reason to go down there. And you notice I say down there. It's a lovely, lovely place. What we have in common with Mason, Manistee especially is just that we're all on the water. Well, we're also all on the water with Traverse City. And for Leelanau County, we have no city. We have delightful villages. But people in Leelanau County go to Traverse City. That is our town. We go there for medical needs. I'm guessing 95% of us for dental. We go there for an awful lot of groceries. They have Costco. Oh my gosh, we go there. We go there for all of our shopping. We have friends there. We're involved in clubs there. People go to church there. Traverse City is our town. And as such, it just makes sense that we be in a district together. We also all have wineries. We have farms. So we have a lot in common with Traverse City. So that would be my reflection. Our lives are integral to what goes on in Traverse City, and we would love to be in a district. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for addressing the commission. Next in line is number 2.
Good evening. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. My name is Barb Conley. I'm from Northport in Leelanau County. And forgive me for reading this, but I want to be efficient. I first of all want to thank the commissioners for all the work that they are doing and for allowing me to speak. I just want to say Michigan passed a constitutional amendment in 2018, which removed the redrawing of election districts from the legislature and put it in the hands of you, our independent commission. We have been subjected to gerrymandering, including in the recent past, and Michigan citizens deserve the right to have their vote counted no matter where they live. So I do urge you to draw districts that do not lead to one-party rule in any district. And that includes the 1st congressional district as well as districts for the state house and the state senate. I would like to see maps drawn with as close to zero partisanship as possible. I also want to note some communities of interest along the northern Michigan coast, which shares tourism, fruit growing, water-directed activities, fishing, and sometimes medical care, transportation, and intermediate school districts. For example, our state senate district could possibly encompass the northern coast of lower Michigan, and many of those communities of interest would be included. Our state house district, as said by the previous speaker, could pair northern Grand Traverse County with Leelanau County and encompass wine growers, fruit growers, mass transport, medical care, and the intermediate school district, as well as tourism. And then our congressional district could unite the water-related communities in the lower upper, and the upper peninsula. And then just one minor note, I'm disappointed the MICRC chose a partisan law firm to represent this body in lawsuits. Thank you.
Thank you for addressing the commission. Number 3, you may now address the commission.
Thank you. Members of the Michigan Redistricting Commission. I live in Leelanau County, a peninsula that adjoins only 2 other counties, Grand Traverse, and Benzie counties. I was one of the many volunteers who worked for Voters Not Politicians in gathering signatures for the Citizens Initiative that led to the formation of your commission. I urge you to reject any effort to simply modify the current gerrymandered district boundaries and to establish an entirely new State House and Senate districts. A part of Leelanau County is already within the city limits of Traverse City. Our county has changed over the last 10 years as most new residents are retirees seeking new lives up north. I believe our average age of our population is now the oldest in the state. Like many others, my wife and I go to Traverse City once or twice a week for medical care, to shop, to dine out, to use the Cherry Capital Airport, and to enjoy the many cultural benefits that are only available in Traverse City. We get most of our daily news from the Traverse City Record Eagle and the local television and radio stations, all of which are based in Traverse City. We believe the elderly population of Leelanau County has so much in common with Traverse City that the two should be considered one community of interest. Leelanau County is also heavily dependent on agriculture, with many acres of our rural land devoted to production of cherries, apples, and wine grapes. There are many wineries located in Leelanau County that sell most of their wine in Traverse City stores. In this instance, most of Leelanau County's farmers share the industry with farmers growing the same products on Traverse City's Old Mission Peninsula, and many tourists visit our area to take winery tours. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to address the commission.
I will give you a copy of my full remarks.
Absolutely. You can give them to us now and we can scan them in, or you can submit them via the online portal, whichever way you'd prefer. All right. Thank you, everybody who has spoken to the commission. We are now going to move on to our remote in-person public comment. Individuals who have signed up and indicated that they would like to provide live remote public comment will now be allowed to do so. I will call on you by your name and our staff will unmute you. If you are on the computer, you will be prompted by the Zoom app to unmute your microphone and speak. If you are on the phone, a voice will say that the host would like you to speak and prompt you to press *6 to unmute. I will call on you by your name or the last 4 digits of your phone number. Also, please note that if you experience audio or technical difficulties or we do not hear from you for 3 to 5 seconds, we will move on to the next person in line and return to you after they are done speaking. If your audio still does not work, you can email redistricting@michigan.gov and we will help you troubleshoot so that you can participate during the next public comment period at a later hearing or meeting. Like our in-person comments, you will have 2 minutes to address the commission. Please conclude your remarks when you hear the timer. First in line to provide public comment is Mr. James Gallant.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Gallant. You are now welcome to address the commission.
Hello, my name is James Gallant with the Marquette County Suicide Prevention Coalition. And these are my opinions concerning the manner in which you folks are performing your duties here. And to continue our conversation from before, you know, I'd like to, we're pointing out now, we're going to see, seeing very clearly the process that you people think that you want to create on the fly. But please remember that the process is provided you by the people of the state of Michigan was through the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State convened the first meeting. He oriented you and said you must follow Robert's Rules of Order. That is absolutely what you're not doing. You are doing everything. Commissioner Eads skillfully interjected while there was a motion second pending, according to the rules, and was able to, by rhetoric, just change the course of history here and say, boom, now look, now we're not going to vote. You're going to do a bunch of decisions and then take one vote at the end. Well, the vote was at the end of today, at the end of you're going to each map, you should have had a motion to approve the map. For the UP, the one you did today earlier, motion to approve that district and that, or whatever map that is. At the end of your discussion today, the vote is not to approve the map, it's the motion to postpone to the next time you're going to talk about it. And then you just pick that motion back up at that time. And you all know this. And this is not the process. The process you're using is on the fly. And I think that you already got that movie made. You got that documentary movie already made. And you're going to just facilitate this to be it. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is why you're going to get sued. You're going to get sued. And I got to tell you that the governmental immunity, I bet you the people, those lawyers keep telling you got governmental immunity. Well, not if you're not following the laws and rules and guidelines, because then that falls to the floor and then you're on your own. You're on your own. You're personally responsible for your vote. And that's the whole idea here is people don't want to vote because then you don't want to be responsible for it. It's like shared leadership. That's why they want you people to have a personal relationships with each other so they can play you. Commissioner Ede played everybody today and your emotion. And guess what? That's supposed to be out of it. You have emotion. If you know what you're going to be talking about, then they can't change it. And you just go by the rules. I would ask you to
Thank
get
you
a
for
report
addressing the
from your
commission,
new
Mr.
new-
Gallant. Next in line to address the commission is Mark Payne. Please wait for our staff to unmute you.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Good evening. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I would first like to thank you all for your dedicated hard work and transparency. My name is Mark Payne. I'm a Detroit resident and a block club president, Cortlandt Street Block Club. I'm also the Democracy for All coordinator for the Michigan League of Conservation of Voters Education Fund. After reviewing your current schedule, we believe there is not enough time carved out to draw the Detroit metro area. The Detroit metro area is 40% of our population in Michigan and therefore includes a significant amount of our state's districts. Given the number of people within these districts, more mapping time is needed for this area that is currently allocated. I encourage you to more fairly reallocate planning mapping hours to the Detroit metro region, so that each district and communities within it receive the attention they deserve. Thank you for your time and consideration. Have a great day.
Thank you for addressing the commission. Next in line to speak is Curtis Fernandez. Please wait for our staff to unmute you.
Hello, are you all able to hear me today?
Good evening. Please feel free to address the commission.
Hello, my name is Curtis Fernandez and I am a community organizer with APIA Vote Michigan. I want to say thank you to the commissioners for coming out last week to Metro Detroit to meet with our AAPI community. I'm speaking to you today to ask that the commission revises the remainder of their roadmap to reallocate more time mapping the Metro Detroit region, specifically Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties. As of 2020 census data, over 3.9 million people, or roughly 39% of the total state population, live in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties. As is the case, Metro Detroit should, in theory, contain a disproportionate number of districts. So we as a state need to spend more time focusing on Metro Detroit. We do want to keep in mind that Metro Detroit is arguably the most diverse region in Michigan and contains various communities that may be underrepresented in our political process. This gives us further justification to give more time to redistricting in Metro Detroit, especially since I know that we all collectively want to right the wrongs that gerrymandering has caused to our state. We've also seen a high volume of community of interest submissions for our specific region. So from an operational standpoint, it would make practical sense to dedicate more time to Metro Detroit, in part, and to take into account the various submissions and review them. Thank you so much.
Thank you for addressing the commission. Next in line, and I apologize if I'm going to mispronounce your name here, is Isra Deresa.
It's hi everyone. It's Isra Deresa, but close.
Thank you very much. You're free to address the commission.
All right, thank you so much. So I am a pretty concerned resident and voter in Michigan, and I want to echo a couple of the people that have already spoke in regards to the map. And so I spend a lot of my time in Wayne County and Greater Detroit, and my main ask is that the commission take this very seriously when they're thinking about drawing the map for Metro Detroit. and adjust your plan to spend that time in regards to making something equitable. Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County are the 3 most populous in the state. And just like Curtis mentioned, there's almost 4 million people that are in those counties. And for example, compared to the UP, who has about a little bit over 800,000 people, it's not equitable to spend the same amount of time drawing maps for these 2 different regions. And so again, the whole point of this process is to not end up gerrymandering again. And it just seems like that could potentially happen if you're quickly trying to draw a map for that large of a population, for that diverse of a population. I'm an Arab American, and there are so many other different ethnic minorities that reside in these different counties. And so for decades, these communities have been marginalized, have been overlooked. And so again, I urge you not to repeat history and think very seriously about how you go about drawing these maps, and just think about the residents and the fact and the whole purpose of why this commission was even created. There was a high volume of community of interest submissions as well from the Detroit metro region. And so the region deserves, sorry about that, the time for you to go through those appropriately. And so that is my main point. Please extend the time that you are able to extend for Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, and better known now as Detroit Metro, according to the commission. So thank you so much.
Thank you for addressing the commission. Now that the first opportunity for both in-person and remote public comment has concluded without objection, we will now hear from individuals seeking to provide a second public comment. Hearing no objection, we will now proceed with individuals seeking to provide a second 2-minute public comment. Individuals who have signed up and indicated that they would like to provide a second remote public comment to the commission will now be allowed to do so. We will use the same process as the first round. First in line to provide public comment is Mr. James Gallant.
Can you hear me, Madam Chair?
Yes, I can. You are now invited to address the commission.
All righty, thank you. My name is James Gallant, Marquette County Suicide Prevention Coalition. These are my opinions. And I guess to carry up the same conversation we have going here about the bullying, this thing about hearing no objections, that's clearly bullying, because, just remember back on a schoolyard, everybody's seen and heard about bullying people in public and doing this. And all a bully has to do is make sure that nobody objects. They don't have to agree, just make them so they don't object. So this whole system is based on bullying. I am coining the phrase institutionalized bullying, because you're letting people bully you. Because you're just saying, oh, well, you're just going to go along and just not take the consequences, whatever that might be. But to the folks of Metro Detroit, and Mr. Payne in particular, he was in speaking, and then the lady behind me here that just spoke, seems not very confident in your process either. But my prediction is that the maps are already drawn. The maps are already drawn, and what's going to happen is it's going to be like musical chairs. And what's going to happen, and because Commissioner Cowan passed this morning on map drawing. So she's going to pass until the end and be the last one to draw the lines. Bam, done. There are the lines, good to go. Yeah, like musical chairs almost, kind of, And, you folks like to use that word kind of. Everybody's saying kind of like this, kind of like that. And then by consensus, okay, I guess yes, it is. Well, you need to be voting. And I got to tell you, you should start over. My recommendation is you start over on the first page of the book of Robert's Rules of Order, and that you get a report from your new litigation lawyer about the risk management of being actually called out on and sued by you didn't follow the process, and have him review the process and tell you this is what he sees and how it's supposed to be working here. When the Secretary of State clearly provided to you, you must follow Robert's Rules of Order. It's in your orientation. And even those nonprofit cheat sheets say you motion first, second, and then you have discussion. And that is how it said. Every single one of those say that. And then you just didn't take anybody's recommendations here. Not your lawyers, not the Secretary of State. You're just doing something different. So this is not the process that was provided to you by the people of the state of Michigan. Just remember that. If you are going to be held personally responsible for it. And this is a disaster. This is a big cluster. I mean, I don't even see where you people.
Thank you for addressing the commission, Mr. Gallant. That concludes our public comment for this evening. However, I would like to mention that all mailed and emailed public comment is provided to the commission before and after each meeting, and the commissioners also review the public comment portal at www.michigan.gov/MICRC website on a regular basis. We appreciate everyone who provides public comment in whatever way they choose to do so, and we invite you to keep sharing your thoughts, communities of interest, and maps. At this time, before we move on, I will note that our chair did have to leave, and so I am acting as vice chair or acting as chair right now. So in the event that I need to leave the room, I'm going to designate Commissioner Lett to act as acting chair in the event that I am unable to be in the room for whatever reason. All right, moving on to the next item in our agenda, we are going to return to unfinished business, agenda item 5A, continuing with the mapping of drafts for the Northeast, Northwest, and Upper Peninsula regions. Hearing no objections, we will continue with this process. And I believe we were almost done. We had almost finished up our Senate seats, our drafts. And I believe Commissioner Orton, we had left off with you. Were you wanting to work on that a little more, or were you happy with where you were at?
I was finished.
Okay, so you were finished with where you were at. So at this point, we will move on to Commissioner Rothorn. And I believe we have two drafts that are going right now, one with some changes by Commissioner Eid, one which was the last one worked on by Commissioner Orton. So if you would please specify which one you prefer.
I believe we have three.
We have three.
Right. So the first and the third are similar.
Okay. So MC, which do you want to work off of? Or do you want to see them first?
I can show you each one.
Would you? Yes,
Sure.
thank you.
Give me just a moment, please.
Sure.
Okay, so this is the first one where, let's see, just to review the features of this plan. So this is the one where Commissioner Clark stopped at Schoolcraft in Lewis County, not taking any of Chippewa or Mackinac.
So
And
not
then
this one.
Commissioner Curry did District 2, Commissioner Lang did District 3, Commissioner Lett did District 4, and then we kind of
Yes.
stopped at that.
So
Okay.
not this one, please.
Right. Yeah, that's okay, and this is the version 2 where, again, the difference here is District 1, Commissioner Ead's version brought District 1 over to Sault Ste. Marie, and then the balance of Chippewa County, Mackinac, and most of the eastern side. And then District 2 is left essentially unfinished. So that's version 2, and version 3 we'll bring up has 2 districts. It's going to be the same as the District 1 and the first, and just a single district that's the western section plus Mackinac and Chippewa, and is like 30 people off the ideal.
I'd like to start with this one, with the second. I guess this is number 2, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, if you will, let me make a copy of this so that I have a plan, like we hold this in reserve as a stopping point and then continue.
I'm okay with him editing it. He, in the spirit of collaboration.
Yeah, I thought that I'm not editing much. I'm just, I want to work on a collaborative
Okay,
map.
that's fine, no problem. All right, so go ahead.
So let's try to finish up the green one.
Okay.
And Sorry, I can't see the numbers.
Sure. So at the moment, the District 2, just a moment. This goes here. Okay. District 2 is 219,000 out of the ideal as 265, right?
Okay.
And we'll add the regions in.
And 2 is the green one, correct?
Correct.
All right. Yeah. So let's finish up the southwestern portion, and we're doing the Senate. Yeah.
Point of order.
Yes, Commissioner Witches.
I was under the impression that we do have to start over with a new clone. This is a new meeting for the public record. It's not, we weren't on recess. So because of it being a new meeting, don't we have to clone it and start with a new one?
General Counsel, any input on that?
Yes, Madam Chair, let me pull up the process so I don't misquote anything. Under the collaborative line drawing section of the mapping protocol document, the commissioner that's next in alphabetical order may elect to choose one of the previously created maps or may begin a new map. So the cloning would be appropriate. I don't know if Ms. Reinhardt had more to add to that.
Appropriate but not necessary.
Correct. The commissioner can elect to choose. It says one of the pre-created district maps presented by individual commissioners at a starting point, or they will begin the drawing of a district in the scheduled region. But again, previously, the commission was revising those clone maps as long as they're saved separately. That would be appropriate as well. Does that respond to the question appropriately, Commissioner Witches?
Commissioner Witches, that was a yes?
Yes, that was appropriate. I mean, that answered my question.
Perfect. And if you'd like to collaboratively decide which one to move forward with, that's fine, but it does say in alphabetical order rotation.
I think I'm just going to proceed from here. Is that okay?
Yes, and for the record, I did save a shape file of this plan as is right now, and I sent it to Kim Brace, so we do have a copy of that plan as well.
Okay, thank you.
And Madam Chair?
Yes, General Counsel.
I certainly appreciate Mr. Morgan adding that for the benefit of the public. The work product from the day's meetings, so from the morning session, from the session earlier this afternoon that occurred from 1 to 4, the results from that session will be posted as well as this session for the day's work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's continue. And let's fill in the southwest corner and continue down the coast if we need more population.
Okay, so you have Benzie, 17,000, and Manistee, about 25.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a portion of Wexford. We'll zoom in and look at that.
Okay.
If you want to.
I do. I'm strictly looking at population and trying to, complete our Senate map for this region.
Okay, so the eastern half of Wexford, including the city of Cadillac, was taken into District 3, and then we're adjusting District 2.
And I appreciate I still can't see the numbers. So I guess what I mean is I can't read how far off we are. So please.
Oh, right. So at this point, it's negative 1.1, and it's 262 out of 265. The balance of the county, by my estimation, would keep you within the population tolerance and would also probably take you just slightly over just barely over.
Okay, let's do it and call it good.
Okay, so there it's 4,000 over 1.5 deviation, and that's the balance of Wexford County.
Okay. And so we have a largely coastal western, okay. Great, so the reason I like this is, it does, so I'm providing explanation. I am finished. Oh, is there?
Yeah, let him provide your explanation and then we can call on other people.
So I did hear that, that Grand Traverse, so this is the Senate district. We need the population, and we're filling in this region. There are, like we heard in the public comment, they're not quite the same. They're different, but the breadth of it is the western coast and the northwestern coast, and there's a lot of similarities that sound like it's a good fit.
Commissioner Clark.
Let me make a suggestion. One of the things we did with this in the Orange District, District 2, is we split one of the counties. Why don't we move that back and make it a whole county in the orange? And I think the green will still be, number-wise, still be okay.
We can. In one of the public comments, I think it may be, I think Wexford and that, like, they're a little bit more rural, and they may actually connect more with like a Presque Isle. I'm not certain, but that's my hunch based on the public comment, is that it's a more rural, and there may be less connection with sort of the more urban, or let's say the more developed towns. So, I mean, I appreciate the suggestion, but just to keep the county whole, I think there may be.
Well, that's one of the comments that we've gotten consistently in
To
the
keep counties whole.
public hearings, yeah.
No, that's fair.
And it helps the city clerks too, the county clerks.
Sure. Let's see. We're 1.5
Just a
over.
suggestion. I yield back.
Yep. And I just want to again state, because I know Department of State is going to be waving at me over there, that that the criteria of keeping townships and communities and cities together is number 7 on our list, and does not take priority over any other considerations that we might have that are farther up on our list. So I'm just stating that for the public watching. Commissioner Witches.
I just want to make a comment now that we have gone over, and we basically doubled our amount of population that are over. And I personally believe that we are spending too much time trying to keep counties whole at this particular point. It is the lowest of the things that we need to be worried about at this particular point. So we should not be afraid to divide up a county. I would even recommend shaving off pieces of the bottom so that we get of the entire bottom line of what was just drawn across districts 2 and 3, so that we can get closer to that 0 mark, 0 deviation mark. And as long as we're keeping townships and precincts whole, we're not really doing too much damage to county clerks at all whatsoever. It's once you start going into blocks that's causing the issues.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Orton.
I agree that we should try and have a goal of as little deviation as possible. But I also think that at this point, maybe this is good. And as we look at the communities of interest, then we can change the smaller pieces here and there to get the deviations correct.
Thank you, Commissioner Orton. Commissioner Rothhorn.
Thanks for all the input. That's helpful. I think I'm just going to keep it the way it is then, and we'll as we get around to the second round, and we're going to be drawing house districts next. So I think that's going to be exciting too.
Yep. All right. With that being said, let me just make sure our online participants do not have comments. All right. At this point, we're going to move on to, we have completed the Northeast, Upper Peninsula, and Northwest regions of our state Senate maps. So at this point, we are going to move on to the House maps for that same region.
I
So
apologize. I just think we should do discontinuity.
Oh, yeah.
that
Can you do a
test and
discontinuity
checking thing.
check?
Sorry, yeah, I can. I also want to review this map with Kim after we do that. One moment here. So. Okay, so this is an issue where these unpopulated water blocks are part of the same county and they're grouped together. So we essentially will have to probably separate those. If I click on them if I click on it as a unit and assign the portion that you intended to be in District 1, it's also going to fill in this down here. And again, these are unpopulated portions of the lake.
And there's two blocks in that lower region. And they're both 0 population because it's water.
Okay, so I'm going to assign those to 3. Is that correct?
Yes, please. It looks like there's census blocks within the water.
Yeah, there are.
Can you believe it?
I do now.
Now you've seen it all.
The census blocks tend to reflect the 3-mile outer coastline along the coasts. And so they put them into the lakes also.
Yeah, it's an extension of the county line straight across into the lakes, it looks like. So I do want to point out, I just want to, we'll check the contiguity. And then after that, when we save and export this plan, I think Kim will take a look at it and just make sure that everything's in alignment like we think it is.
Thanks.
So the program says there are no discontinuity errors in the plan.
Whoop, whoop. That was an official whoop whoop for the record.
All right, so then let's move on to the house plan. So moving forward with new business, item 6A, begin mapping drafts for the Northwest, Northeast, and Upper Peninsula State House districts. These regions in which the commission will be working at this time provide a starting point that we aren't mapping the entire state at one time. Regions are not districts, so district lines will be drawn across region lines as the commission meets the criteria listed in the Michigan Constitution, starting with equal population.
Okay, so I have a blank plan for the house. Okay.
Yep. All right, so if you could zoom into the Upper Peninsula for me. And I want to start with the island that's all the way out and come down the peninsula. And you can just do it by county if that works. So let's start there, then come down. All right, and then I want you to go west of where you are right now and select those counties on the outside. What does that put me at number wise?
59,000.
I'm trying to get to 91. Is that
That's
right?
right.
So let's go over and grab, what's the name of this county? the one that is southern, Iron County. And then let's go on the other side of that and grab that county too, and then let me know where we're at.
Dickinson,
Yep. Yep, I want to keep Barenga and Marquette together. And I'm worried we're not gonna be able to do that without, if they get mixed in with this.
okay, so this is 97,000,
So 97, so it's over, and what's the percentage it's over by?
6.1.
6.1, okay. So can we go down to the precinct level, or is it township level and take off a little bit?
Okay,
Yep, so just take off from the outside edge.
from the
Yep.
eastern edge or the northern edge?
Let's see what we got here number wise.
They're fairly sparsely populated
Yeah, I was
here.
gonna say they're pretty sparsely populated. So how much was I over by?
5,000,
5,000?
yeah.
So if you grab the, let's see, what we got here. All right.
1,000.
Yep, the 1,600,
Okay,
the 236, the 239, and then the 925, that should get us closer. And pull in the city of Crystal Falls too. Or pull out, I should say, not pull in. I think you might have.
so Breen out,
So let me,
yes, out.
which one is that? I can't.
It says Breen 471 population.
What are we at population wise right now?
Positive 4.1, 3765 over,
Where, how much over?
3765.
37 over. So yeah, take off that one in the upper. Okay. And then, sorry, I'm having a hard time seeing what's on your screen.
So
Can you
there's Norway Village, Norway Township, and Waseda.
Okay, so you got 3,000 over. Take off Waseda and Norway. And then scroll out to make sure I didn't just create any discontinuities. Okay, I think that's good. I think I'll leave it at that. All right. And for the record, I'm just trying to stick with population for that. So next in line would be,
Sorry. Appreciate the explanation there. Can you also explain why you started where you started?
where I started where?
Why you started where you began?
I was just starting at the eastern or westernmost edge of the Upper Peninsula and moving down. And then again, with an eye on keeping Barenga and Marquette together because we specifically received public comments about that. Commissioner Clark.
Couple comments relative to this district.
Commissioner, if I could, before we go there, and before you leave, you have a couple of non-contiguous parts there.
Around Norway.
Okay. Okay.
It's a city township boundary.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Norway is 24
or
or 2,600.
2,800.
What's the township above it? How many is in the township above it? Okay, so I'm over by 900. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take Norway Township off and add back in Sagola. And that should balance that out.
Okay, Norway Village, okay.
Yep, so add in the Norway Township back in. Is that right? No, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm confused.
That's okay. I think what you mean to do is to take Norway Village out.
Out, yes, and add
Sagola.
Sagola. And then see where we're at.
And that'll be about 800 under. 824 under.
824. Okay, I think that's
Okay.
good.
All right.
Okay, a couple comments. From the public hearings, I heard a lot that Baraga, Marquette, and Alger County should stay together. I don't know if that's impacted on this map. Another point that I'd like to make, there's two other points. One is we ought to recognize that the four counties that bump up against Wisconsin are all in another time zone. So I never heard that in the public hearings, but it's an impact, for the elections and so forth. So we may want to keep that in consideration. And then the other thing I heard was the individuals that had talked about the 70-minute commute. And to get to their polling place, and I don't see where we can fix that off the top of my head. And that I believe was in Baraga County from my notes. But that is impacted, I believe, on this map here. Can we look at Baraga County?
Yes,
Commissioner Lett, she's
the county is whole and it's not assigned to District 1, so it's
Okay.
available.
Okay. So that's a consideration later then. Okay, I yield back.
For the record, Vice Chair Zatella has stepped away. Steve Lett is temporarily chairing the meeting. Are there any other comments before we move on? All right, Janice Villette.
Okay, I'm going to start at the northern part of the UP, and we're going to take Barga and Marquette.
Baraga. is the way it's
Baraga,
pronounced.
sorry. Thank you. Marquette. Algier.
That leaves 83,000 people in this
Okay.
district,
um,
about 8,000 short.
Schoolcraft. And I'll leave it at that.
Commissioner, which is,
Commissioner Villette, if you had Schoolcraft, that's gonna block it all off.
Okay.
May I suggest that you take a look at the townships in Dickinson and see if the remainder of those townships can get you
Oh,
added to the
okay,
number.
thank you. I didn't see that it went all the way into the water. Okay, so we'll remove Schoolcraft. Thank you, Commissioner.
too bad. I heard no more.
And you want to take the balance of Dickinson County?
I can't see. Oh, they're saying yes. Yes.
Okay, the balance of Dickinson brings the District 2 to negative 2,200. It's negative 2.4%. So it's within the tolerance on the negative side.
Okay. Then we'll end there. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
thank you so much. I would just again give a reminder, if Commissioner Wagner is able at this time to verbally provide her location, that would be wonderful for the record.
Am I unmuted? This is Commissioner Wagner. I am remotely attending from Charlotte, Michigan.
Commissioner Villette, can you provide an explanation about your district?
Well, yes, it was basically continuing across the Upper Peninsula and concentrating on population. And then Commission Widget showed me that I blocked it off, so I switched it and took the rest of Dickinson County.
All right. Any other comments or discussions? All right, we will move on to the next person. Commissioner Wagner.
Hello, thank you. Vice Chair. I guess we will start with Menominee.
Okay, Menominee County.
Yes, please, and take it up through Schoolcraft. And it looks like, where are we right now? We're shy 23,000. Grab loose. And 17. And I guess, can we go down to townships and see what Chippewa has? Because otherwise I think we're gonna be discontiguous. We're at 17,000. Can you pan out just a little bit, please?
Sorry, so the portion to the south of the District 3 here, this is Mackinac County, and then Chippewa up here. And as I zoom in, you'll see the population.
I think, but I want to stay with Chippewa right now.
Chippewa,
Because
okay,
I think
good.
otherwise.
Okay, so Whitefish is 474, Hulbert is 171, and those are on the border of your district that you're building.
I've got 17,000 to go. Yes, please. My concern though is we heard, keep Wisconsin border towns or border townships or counties together, Superior counties together, and Michigan counties together. So if we can get Whitefish, and then the one year, yes, please. Hulbert, Chippewa, Bay Mills. Superior.
You said Kinross and Superior?
Bay Mills and Superior first.
Bay Mill, okay,
Please.
Bay Mill, Superior.
And Kinross. $8,000, and if you can pan out just a little bit, John. I think we're gonna have to go ahead and follow the Sault Ste. Marie. How much? 13,000 up there. Oh, Okay, after. And what does that leave us on the southern side of Dafter and Kinross?
There are two townships in Chippewa, Trout Lake, which is 332, and Rudyard is almost 1,300.
Let's take both of those. Now to the west.
Approximately 5,000 under.
If you can, yes, if you can pan out a little bit and go west. What about the one directly south of the county line? I don't have my, to your left.
In Mackinac County or staying in Chippewa?
Let's go to Mackinac County. And
Okay.
that upper corner left by Manistee Lake. Portage,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And the one southern beneath that one. I'm still 4,000 short.
That's right.
Garfield.
3,700 after taking Newton. And
Let's do,
yeah, so that's
let's do the next three.
okay.
Garfield, Hudson, and Hendricks. What does that do for the Native American tribes up that way? Are we still? So in Mackinac, John, the one to the left, the first white, yes.
Take this, Moran.
Yes, please. And I think, boy, that, I would say stay there.
Okay. I'm going to just zoom to the entire district so you can look at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wagoner. Commissioner Orton.
If that darker, slightly darker shaded area on the map is the Native American land, then I think it cut that in half.
Yes, it looks like, I believe this is, it could be, I haven't confirmed this, whether this is tribal land or not.
Actually, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I
Mr.
have
Rice.
actually pulled up what the Census Bureau defines as reservations. It's not as large as what we have thought about before, but I do have that on my screen so I could show you where those are.
Please do.
So if you want to unplug.
Uh-oh.
Oops. Let me go and share my screen.
Also, that just may be wilderness, right? Like it's defined that way. That's probably what that is. Because this theme is not a census layer. This is the background. When Fred first explained the software, there were multiple background options to show. So again, this is not coming from the census little shaded area.
So what we have here, this is the Census Bureau has a set in their Tiger files that defines all the reservation property. Now, as I said, these are smaller, and this may not be what people think sometimes, but this is what the Census Bureau recorded. And so in this area, And you can see this mission area that we talked about earlier today. Part of that little peninsula is reservation land on that regard. So Dustin, have you seen?
Commissioner Witches?
Oh, I just wanted to make notice that with the last addition that was made to this district, you cut off the Upper Peninsula from the Lower Peninsula.
Oh, okay.
So that's Sault Ste. Marie that we're looking at right now, right?
Yes.
No, this is Mackinac. This is where the bridge comes in into the
No,
UP.
they're not on
Oh,
yours.
I'm
No,
so sorry.
Right there, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Sault Ste. Marie.
They're not looking at yours yet.
Yeah.
So, so you can see, I mean, there's little pockets. I don't know if there's a casino right here that's being categorized. That's probably what it is. You come across the bridge and right on the south side of the bridge too, on that side. So up here, these are all real little pockets. They're not large territories. You end up seeing, I mean, you see up here in Bergen, you see the larger territory up there for the reservation. And then, of course, you end up seeing down here the biggest territory in the state. So it is here, it's kind of smaller and it doesn't really comport exactly. I think somebody had mentioned that where the Indian population is not necessarily only on the reservation.
No.
And you can clearly see that if you look at the two on that side.
Right, thank you.
Okay, so.
Any other comments about where we're at right now, Commissioner Eid?
Well, then, I think that brings the question, why are we concerned with where the reservations are? Shouldn't we be more concerned with where the actual people are of that descent?
It does demonstrate that point, yes.
Do we have that?
Yeah, that was the map I shared earlier,
Yeah, that's the map that was shared.
which for the record came from Mr. Brace. So
Yeah,
he had provided it to all of us. I can share it again if you want. I still have it open.
I did find it after you found it.
Rebecca. Can I ask a question?
Commissioner Curry?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get clarity. Those little red patches were the reservations.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, I have it here. If we want to plug back in, I'll show you where it is. Okay, so here's our population map of where the population is. So you can see we have these up here, how wider it is in terms of the concentration. Now, these are down at the block group level. This is not, well, these are, yeah, as well as township. So we have some of these at different layers of geography. This is actually from the ACS. Let me see, I pulled this from, because you had a different one. those. What's the other ones? I'll have to find those. Again, I apologize. I thought I had those. I was looking at the wrong ones. We'll go back to John and I'll go and find these.
Okay. All right, so Commissioner Wagner,
To Commissioner Witches's point, yeah, he's pointing this out at.
yep, we cut
separate-
it off. So that needs to be backed out. And I think you have to go back to townships to do that. I think those, unless you just, can you pull off just the one?
Yeah, I just pulled off the one with the
Okay.
undo command.
Okay.
And just point out at this point, that district is only 2,200 under. So it's
Just,
within your tolerance.
All right, Commissioner Wagner, are you satisfied with the district you drew?
Not really, but I'm gonna have to go with it, aren't I? Thank you.
Thank you for your candor.
Sarah, you're welcome. Sarah, I just, for your,
right.
for MDOS purposes, let me give a clarification. I just continued from west to east so we could get some contiguity in there in population. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you, Commissioner Wagner.
All right, at this point, we will move on to Commissioner Weiss.
All right, John, it looks like I'm going to have to start up at Sault Ste. Marie, obviously, to finish up our map and pretty much fill all that in, I guess, from there down and see what our totals are.
So I'm taking the, on this, the water
Yes.
in as well. Okay, I'm just gonna,
Yeah, go ahead and
yeah,
fill it in.
take a moment. Okay, so that's the balance of Chippewa County, and that's not, well, yeah, it's 24,000.
Yeah, I guess you might as well take it all the way down to the bridge then.
Okay, so the balance of Mackinac.
Yes, balance.
Okay, so with the remainder of the UP, that's 32,000 people in the District 4. And again, we have to split the unpopulated water blocks because this
Yeah.
water is not contiguous to there.
Right.
Okay, I think that resolves the water issue. One moment. Not quite. Okay, so you've got Emmett and Sheboygan are next adjacent counties.
All right, let's take in,
And you're about 59,000 down.
let's take in Emmett and Charlevoix.
Okay, one moment. Okay, so that district is 598 off.
Yeah, I think I kind of like that because we had a little less in District 3, so we got a little over here, so I'll take up some of that difference. I think I will stick with that.
Madam Chair, I
Yep.
do have the right map
Oh,
for you.
yay. Okay, go ahead and show it to us, Mr. Brace. And Mr. or Commissioner Weiss, what was your thought process behind drawing the district the way that you did?
Well, it wasn't too hard. I kind of had to finish the Upper Peninsula, so it didn't take too much smarts there. And then just add the next two to get my total up to where it was, a little bit over. So we had a little negative in the Upper Peninsula, so we gained a little bit that way.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any questions or comments about what was just drawn? All right, so here's the map with the Native American population.
Right, and this is at the block group level. So I've zoomed down into the area right by the bridge on that side. And you can end up seeing certainly over here in Berrigan, the reservation that's there compared to the shape of that over on that side. But clearly in this neck of the woods and St. Marie, you do have in St. Marie, you've got close to, certainly over there in the other precinct or township that was there. And you can see that part of the reservation is also what's causing that to be relatively high in the percentage right along the lake there.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, at this point, we're going to move on to our next commissioner, which is Commissioner Witches.
Okay. Flip a coin, see where I want to start. All right, let's do Sheboygan, Presque Isle, Otsego, Montmorency, and Alpena.
Sorry, Otsego.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's over.
Okay, that's over by 10,000.
Yeah, let's take Otsego out. Otsego. Okay, so we are at 10,000. Let's take Alcona.
I don't think it's finished calculating. Now it has, so you need to add 15,000 approximately.
Yeah, let's do Alcona. Let's take the very top rectangle of Otsego on the township level.
Otsego, not Oscoda, right?
Otsego, yes. Okay, let's go down to Oscoda Township. Oscoda County.
Okay, so we just took one township up here?
Correct.
Okay.
I just want to see what up is over here. Clinton, Commons. And let's do Elmer and Greenwood. Anything around 400 around here somewhere? No.
It's over.
Yeah, I
by-
know I'm over, but I'm trying to knock out one of the
You
2200s that were under.
You could take out Corwinth from the other county.
No,
Okay.
Go back to where we just were. No,
Okay.
Otsego.
Okay.
Never mind. I think I'll keep it right where it's at. As far as rationale, this would be a house district encompassing the northeast portion of the Lower Peninsula, adding an extra population in Oscoda and Otsego counties to offset either District 2 or 3 by some population.
Any questions or comments about what Commissioner Witches has drawn? All right, seeing none. Good job, Dustin. No one has any questions for you. It's because you did such an awesome job. All right, we are going to move back to the top of our list, which brings us back to Commissioner Clark. Could you put up the frame again of our regions? Just, I'm curious, like
Yes,
how, I
sorry.
can't remember if we're going one more down or the other two. Thank you.
Okay, I want to concentrate on the high population areas. So let's do Traverse City and Leelanau Peninsula. Let's take a look at the two of them together.
So you put 2 in a district and then take away from it? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna take away from Traverse or Grand Traverse County. I'm gonna take away the bottom 8. I'm gonna make sure it's 8, whatever the bottom 2 rows of townships are. So I want to take Grand Traverse County minus the more rural areas of it. See where we are population wise.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I believe so.
Possibly. Okay.
Yeah,
Let me do them 4 at a time.
sure. Yeah, tell me what the population is once you do the 4.
Okay, remember we're subtracting, so 16,000 over.
We're still over?
Yeah, so Green Lake at 6,700 and Blair at about 9,000 is pretty close to what you're looking for. Or East Bay, which is quite large at
Okay, let's
11,000.
try the 9,001.
Okay,
and
so
what-
that puts you right at within 1% deviation.
Okay, can you make the map smaller so we can take a look at it?
Zoom out or in?
No, you're good there. So that basically, in my opinion, puts us the high population area together. The two areas in the state of Leonie Peninsula, and the city of Traverse City, not the rural area to the south of it. So I'd like to stay with that. Sarah?
Just flagging the area, that little pointed area. Can you check that for contiguity? The unassigned area right to the right off the wall.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
She said with the little pointed area, can you check it for discontinuity? Is that correct?
Oh, you want to check it for continuity?
Yeah, it should be okay.
And Doug, I have a,
Oh, I see what she's talking about, the little peninsula jutting out.
Okay, so it's showing District 3 with 3 parts. This is probably, these are islands. Okay, this is looking back at the District 3. One moment. Okay, so you probably have to look at the islands here in District 3 and 4. So we probably would look at assigning these water blocks to District 3 because there are islands. They're both islands. Yeah. Part 1.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Rothorn.
while we have a break, I just wanted to, Doug, one of the comments that I was looking at around this region was that Blair and Garfield counties are definitely part of the Traverse City region. And I know that you got the bottom right corner was Fife Lake Township. So if there's a way to take Fife Lake out of your district and put in Blair or Garfield, I can't remember which one it was.
Just make a switch.
Just make a switch.
These are townships,
These are, yeah, the townships, but it may
Grand Traverse
in the,
Townships.
in the Grand Traverse
Yeah,
region, yeah.
We'll take a look at that. As soon as we finish up with this. Yeah, I was thinking about something similar to that, that we chose the wrong townships. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm assigning the unpopulated water area to the districts.
When you finish that, John, let's go back to Grand Traverse County. Take a look at that.
Just want to note for the record that Commissioner Orton, Commissioner Rothorn, Commissioner Lang, and Commissioner Wagner are still in the meeting, though you cannot see them right now.
Wow. Didn't expect that.
Yeah. These islands. and stuff. So,
Well, Sorry for the delay, but the issue here is that this larger water block seems to separate the two portions of District 4. So normally I would include that in this, but it's a large water block, and then you have the islands that end up being not included in that. So it looks like we're gonna have to do a little more work there.
But what it also shows is that the Census Bureau assigns some of the water to the different counties. So you can see that's why the regions that we've got built, which were done on counties, if you remember, that's what's dividing all of that part of the lake there.
Right, so this is, since we've split Mackinac County, it's become an issue with some of the islands being in one district and the water being in the other.
But we can end up fixing that later on. I mean, we can continue on and
Yeah,
Just come back
I would
to
just suggest we come back and clean it up later,
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
you know, these are drafts and we're nowhere near final, so why don't we just,
Yeah, let's go back to Grand Traverse
okay,
County.
so you're still working on yours then? at
Yeah,
this-
just a little, yeah, we want to tweak a little part of
Okay.
it. Okay, so the far west.
Blair and Green Lake, you want to reassociate with the Traverse City District?
Well,
Or one of the,
what's the population on the districts that we've excluded from Grand Traverse County?
all of this portion here, 17, 20, 25,
So,
20.
if it's the west townships that we're interested in.
In particular, Blair and Garfield were mentioned.
Yeah, add the Blair and Garfield back. Let's see if we can subtract more from the east side. Or, yeah, the east side of the county. And get where we were. Okay.
Okay, so now we're back to being 16,000 over, so
Yeah,
you would potentially look at Acme, East Bay, and Whitewater. And
Commissioner Orton,
I don't want to do that. I don't want to eliminate those. Yeah.
So, well, John, can you scroll up just a little bit? It looks like maybe that. Okay, I wondered if, where it says Elk Rapids, I wondered if you had
yeah,
cut something off.
that's
there.
what I think Sarah was trying to address earlier. That
Yeah,
was what she was talking about, the little point, I think.
right, but it's part of the other county, so the peninsula, I believe, is considered contiguous by the definitions we've been provided.
So as part, that tip of the peninsula is another county?
Yes,
So how much population's in there?
2,500.
Well, I want to add that in. That's, to me, is part of the Traverse City complex.
General Counsel, would you, just assuming that that might be something that we run into again, where a peninsula is part of a different county, can you confirm if a peninsula not connected to the main body would be considered contiguous?
I guess.
So.
General Counsel?
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. So the peninsulas would be connected to the main body of land as distinct from an island. So again, going to a peninsula that is part of a different county, I would again go back to the constitutional criteria that islands are required to be part of the county to which that they are associated, but the same is not true for peninsulas. So that could be assigned to a different district separate from the rest of on land, whatever that county is. The counties can be separated.
But that's optional for us. We could assign it to this district we're talking about or another district.
And specifically, Commissioner Clark, it's where the cursor is.
Correct.
Correct. So it is connected up by.
Yeah, it's the tip
not
of
a
the peninsula.
There. Oh, thank you.
And it's not actually a peninsula to, just to show this here, the Elk Rapids area we're looking at.
Okay. That's correct, Mr. Morgan. So that is just separated. It's just surrounded by the bay.
Well, I guess maybe it is here. Yeah, here's the Elk River. But again, this is, I think this is the interim county.
So again, if it's not an island, then there's no mandate to keep it with the county that it's currently assigned to.
Is it an island for, I didn't see the blowout of it.
Well,
So it's considered as a peninsula around here, I believe.
Commissioner Lett? This is your area.
It's not considered a peninsula.
Yeah. I'd consider it a peninsula.
No, they don't here.
They don't?
No.
Oh, really?
Commissioner Orton?
Well, I just think right there at Elk Rapids, I think there's a river there. It's only connected by a bridge. So I think that little part right there that's just above the green needs to be with the green to be contiguous, is what it looks like to me.
Well, but it's a different county. The green is a separate county.
So according to the rules, we don't,
Have that.
we associate it with the county that it's in.
Consistent with the rules, it can be, if it's not an island, it can be associated with the county that it's located in, or that it can be, again, consistent with the constitutional criteria. When the commission works through it, it doesn't.
And Steve, you're saying that it is an island.
No,
It's not an island. It's a peninsula.
it's not an island nor a peninsula.
They don't, it's not considered a peninsula around here. Elk Rapids is just a town up there. It's not like Old Mission or Leelanau.
I think, if I may, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Eid?
Well, how much population are we talking about up in that area?
2,500.
Oh, 2,500, yeah.
What might clear this up visually, can you just put that whole county in any other color so we could just see the whole county that it's a part of? That might.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Does that help?
Yeah.
It's not an island. Can we zoom in to that particular Elk Rapids?
Yeah, Elk Rapids is outside the district.
Yeah, so it's in a different county from the rest of the peninsula, for
Yeah.
lack of a better word.
Then let's leave it in that county.
But is it discontiguous? I mean, does the
Yeah,
water
it's
make any?
discontiguous, so
Well, I'm asking general counsel.
Okay.
Is it contiguous if it's connected by water to the other area? I mean, I know for islands, it's based on the county they're connected to. Commissioner Witches.
Okay, so how about we just go to the block level and just draw everything up to Elk Rapids in blocks and make it part of District 6 and call it a day? Because I mean, and then everything else up to the bridge to the other part can be part of whatever that county is. I can't remember the name of it.
Just as a point of reference, it's currently in District 105.
So you're suggesting, Dustin, to bring it up to block level up to where the water break is?
Right, where the bridge is from Elk Rapids to across the Elk River.
Okay.
But
That seems reasonable. Let's try that.
See, this is what we're showing here. These are block level populations for all the different blocks south of the river, south of the bridge there.
Yeah, let's include those.
Down in District 6.
Commissioner Witches.
I have another question. Wouldn't bridges make it contiguous anyway? Because it's the same reason as why the Mackinac Bridge makes St. Ignace contiguous with Mackinac City?
I don't think that that's true for redistricting though. I mean, we may colloquially refer to it that way, but.
We did that though, because if that were to be the case, then there would be no way to connect St. Ignace to Mackinac City.
That's true.
So because of that particular reason, that we're putting way too much thought into this particular piece, like we deal with bridges here all the time, and since it's happened in Mackinac, I mean, St. Ignace down to Mackinac City, I would assume that it would be the same in this particular case.
And again, Madam Chair, the distinction being, if you look when Mr. Morgan had been zoomed out for a period of time, the distinction between the Leelanau Peninsula, Old Mission Peninsula, and what we're looking at with Elk Rapids. But yes, the commission has been, and it is standard to include the bridges.
Yeah, and I also think that, I think Commissioner Lett had a valid point with right now, Elk River is actually part of District 105, which is the county it's a part of. So I think based on historical fact that it is currently combined with the county it belongs to, not the county underneath it, that we could in good faith say that that's not a discontinuity.
And also then not divide the town.
Right.
Yeah,
Keep the town whole.
I don't want to divide the town. I think that's the wrong thing to do.
As well as create another precinct down there that the town would have to
Okay,
keep track of.
then let's just leave it. Yeah, I don't want to start doing that to any town. So let's go back down to Grand Traverse. What if we eliminated, we're over or under right now?
You're over by about 16,000.
Okay, so the county to the east of the bottom, down in the bottom corner?
Union.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Okay.
How many we got there?
So there's 400, and then Whitewater is 2,600, so that's about 3. And then that would be 7,500, and then there's 11,000 there.
Yeah, but I don't want to go up side of the bay. So the other options go back to where we were. You know, MC. Yeah, let's reverse it back to where we were. So we color in the one that's white, and then the two to the left of that that's green, we eliminate.
Green Lake and Blair again.
Correct. We just reverse it back. And we can adjust later if we have to, MC. And this should get us in the 1% deviation area.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Let's keep with it. And you got the explanation, sir? Okay, good.
Next is Commissioner Curry.
Commissioner Clark. I think the Department of State wants your explanation as to why you drew the district the way you did.
He already provided it, but if you have any additional explanation you'd like to provide, Commissioner Clark, I'm happy to receive it.
Yeah, I already replied with the explanation previously,
Okay, so no additions?
before we started these last minute changes.
Okay. All right, fantastic. Any additional comments or questions? Commissioner Witches.
This could just be a personal bias of how I'm looking at this particular map at this particular point. I understand that regions aren't districts, We can all see that the end of the actual regions that we're going to be drawing is the Manistee to Iosco line. I fear that if this particular layer stays up, we're going to consider that blue line between Antrim and Otsego all the way down to Roscommon and Misaki is going to be taken into account for division, which it should not be. So as the line for the remaining areas that we're drawing today go straight across from Manistee County to Iosco, I would recommend at this particular point that we remove the layer that shows the actual regions at this point.
Okay, I guess we've been crossing regions this entire time, so I guess what is the concern? You think
No,
I'm not really following what the concern is.
My concern is that this line could be construed as a particular border at this particular point in time. That's all. It's just a thought I had. Whether or not we do it is up to, I guess, all of us, but my thoughts.
Anyone else think we should remove the region lines? Commissioner Lett.
Well, I think we've made it ultimately consistently clear that they are simply labels for our own use as to when we're looking and have no relationship to what we're actually drawing. So while I understand Commissioner Witch's concern, it is not a line in the sand, and we should have no hesitation whatsoever in drawing districts that cross those lines.
Thank you, Commissioner Lett. I personally like the lines because I feel like it gives me a finish line to know when we're done with these regions. So to me, it's like a psychological boost to be able to be like, okay, here's where the finish line is. All right, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of desire to remove those boundaries, so let's just leave them for now. Commissioner Clark, you're happy with your district?
Correct.
Okay, so we will move on to Commissioner Curry.
Okay. I can go anywhere on this, right? Okay. Let's do Manistee, Whitford, Misaki, and Kalkaska. How much is that population together?
So those three counties are 73,000 population, and you're under about 17,800.
So you got Kalkaska?
I don't have Kalkaska, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Either Benzie or Kalkaska is about the amount.
About the same, aren't they?
And you're
That's-
gonna
then
cut
let's go
off,
Ben-
yeah,
let's-
you're cut
let's
off
do
Benzie.
And that should be right on the money.
Yeah.
You're the queen. Look at that. That's awesome. Best district ever. All right, Commissioner Curry, are you satisfied with that?
Very.
Do you have any, I'll call on you in a second. I just want to get her thought process for Department of State before I call on you. Go ahead, Commissioner Curry.
Well, the population equaled out just about, and it's contiguous.
Okay, Commissioner Lett.
Well, I understand it fulfills the population. It really looks weird. We're going to have a really ugly looking district with Kalkaska, the balance of Grand Traverse, and giving some credit to Commissioner Lang wanting to consider the center, smaller counties in there. I think this needs some further consideration.
Commissioner Eid.
Juanita, do you want to try to fill in because it's the suburbs around Grand Traverse that are, they're populous. Right, the Blair County and the big one, if you want to try to fill that in and just see how much over you are, you're not, but you might be, yeah, there's a lot of population just above Wexford. I'm sorry, I can't see very well.
It's Wexford, yep.
Yeah. And that little portion, yeah, if you try to fill in, if you remove the,
Maybe take off Misaki and fill in the remainder of the Grand Traverse.
Okay, I'll take Misaki off and then do the blocks right up over Westford. Plattsford, or whatever that is. Yeah. So how much is that, John?
Okay, so unassigning Wexford means we need 14,000 people.
Okay. Can I go back to where I was? Take me back to where I was so I can get out of this.
Okay, understood.
Screen is too big, I can't see. I can't tell what I got because my screen needs to be a little bit smaller so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Still don't make sense to me. Can you put my numbers back on there?
Yeah, I'm just going back to where you were. So this is with Benzie and Misaki back in. This is how you had it.
Oh, okay. So,
Did you say you wanted to leave it that way or you're going to adjust it?
I think I need to adjust. How about taking Benzie off and put Calcasta? Nah. Calcasta. Take Benzie off. Let me see what it looks like.
So you want me to unassign Benzie?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Good. Oh, it's not gonna work. Not gonna work.
what you try to do, right, just add these in here, see how much population you have.
It's 95.
So we've already got most of it gone.
Right. Okay.
Do you want to see the township populations?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta ask.
John, can I see the township populations? May
Okay.
I see the township populations?
Okay, for Grand Traverse, which is here, or for Benzie?
I think I want to leave Benzie off. For Grand Traverse.
Okay, so these are, so at the moment, we took Benzie out, and then right now, let me just show you. Misaki is in. I could take that out,
Mhm.
and then you could make your adjustment here in Grand Traverse, which is
Okay.
what you were looking at before.
Okay, you could do that. Then I got this one to the left. Okay, can you? Yeah.
Okay, so just these two counties, alone are 58,000, so
Oh.
you need about 32, so you,
Okay, I want, need 32. I'm gonna have to either take Benzie or Kalkaska with,
okay, so Benzie. Oops, hang on, I have to adjust, make it District 7.
yeah. Okay, we do Benzie. Did I do Manistee?
Yeah, Benzie, Manistee, and
Manistee,
Wexford, and
Wexford.
then you were talking about taking additional townships in
Yeah.
Grand Traverse.
Okay, let's see what that total is.
Okay, so I'm putting the township populations on, and we're looking at needing about 14,000.
Okay.
And there's 4 large townships here.
So the best thing to do is take Grant and Green Lake, right? Grant and Green Lake.
Grant and Green Lake, okay.
So
Okay.
then- So what is that? Negative?
So
what?
now it's 7,000 down.
Okay. Then we need to
Needs to gain a little bit more,
yeah,
7,000.
so we need 7,000. And we need Paradise and Mayfield, and maybe Blair can go with somebody else. Paradise and Mayfield? No? Yeah, Paradise and Mayfield. That's almost
I
7,000.
think Commissioner Eid had a comment.
Yep, Commissioner Eid.
Well, if we need about 7,000.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think if you just add Blair, it'll work out population
I
wise.
kind of thought that too, but
I think you're still gonna have a weird shape though. If
Yeah,
the
it's gonna
point
be
is to
weird
kind
either
of,
way
I
it
mean, I think
goes.
you need to take some from Wexford at some point, I think is the county underneath. I mean, what makes more sense based on that area, Steve? Does it make sense to fill in those 3 little townships there and then take a little bit away from the county underneath? Or would it make more sense to have that little slice out?
we probably need to fill that little slice in. Can we fill that little slice in and take it off somewhere else?
okay.
Or no?
So we'll take the balance of Grand Traverse, and then you want to take out from Wexford. I see a lot of nods.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
take, let's
got it.
take 3 blocks from Westford. See what happens.
Okay, so we're gonna add about, let's see, about 8,000, and then you need to take off a similar amount.
Mhm. Okay. We need to take off about 8,000 now, right?
Yeah, it'll end up being about 10,000 because we
Okay.
were over by 2,000.
Okay,
So looking at the outer edge, Cadillac is fairly substantial population. That's 10,000, and you would also have to take another 5,000 to get to that. So you probably would look at a different area.
okay. How about Cedar Creek and, wait a minute. Need it smaller so I can see, I can't see. Yeah. John, can we take out Cadillac and see
Sure.
what that looks like? It's almost 10, 11, 12.
Okay, so that's Cadillac by itself, and then you would look at one or both of these other townships, I think, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so this will leave it underpopulated by 6,000 by taking Cadillac out.
Yeah, can we use a block?
Yes, I think, let's see, so going back to the township level, if you put Herring in, that would get you part of the way if you wanted to.
Mhm.
But then you'd have to look at the border of Cadillac to see if there are discontinuities.
Do you want to go all the way to block level or do you want to start at precincts?
I'm trying to see that if we do the block level, will it kind of equal out, but it's kind of ziggy zaggy there. Let's see what a block level to do right there.
Okay, so to Commissioner Rawthorne's point, looking at precincts first, all of Herring is one voting precinct, I think.
Okay, then let's do the hearing. What does that look like now?
And then here, again, following the city boundary of Cadillac, it looks like there's not a discontinuity. When you zoom in here, the city boundary is connected to the city. Likewise, this is where the airport is. And so zooming out, that's one township in the city of Cadillac is out and it's within 2,400 people and that's within the tolerance. Okay.
Good, yes, thank you.
All right, any further questions or comments for Commissioner Curry? Commissioner Clark?
Yeah, my comment goes to Rhonda. Rhonda, does what we're doing now satisfy your objective of getting the lake shores in a the appropriate district?
You know, these are just sample maps. These aren't the final. The splitting up of Wexford County. Wexford is a rural. As you saw, Cadillac is probably the biggest city in Wexford County. The rest are so tiny that splitting up Wexford County, I would have went and adjusted somewhere else personally. The lake shore, when you look at Manistee and Wexford, there's quite a distance there. So probably not so much, but these are just beginning maps. So let's let it play for now.
All right, on that note, if you're satisfied with your map, Commissioner Curry, we will move on to Commissioner Eid.
Guess I am, much as possible. I did.
Do you need further clarification on rationale, Sarah?
Yes, Commissioner Curry, can you explain some of your revisions and also why you ended up with this final map?
Well, we tried to get the population as equal as possible and also keep it contiguous. So this is what I came up with.
Thank you. To you, Commissioner Eid.
Commissioner Eid?
Okay, so well, Antrim County is not currently assigned to anything, right?
That's correct.
All right, let's start there.
Start there. Okay, so I'm creating a District 8 with Antrim County. Okay, so that'll be 23,000.
Charlevoix is already assigned, right, to District 4?
That's correct.
Okay, let's go Otsego.
So the balance of Otsego, we have one township. Do you want to take the whole county or do you want to keep this township in 5?
Just what's unassigned.
Okay. Okay, so that's 46,000, about half a district.
Okay, let's go Kalkaska. Then from there, let's go Oscoda and the remainder of Alcana County.
I'm sorry, did you mean Crawford? I don't know if you meant that.
Yes.
Okay. And then the balance of Oscoda, which will be fairly small. Okay.
Are we overpopulation now?
No, it's underpopulated by about 10,000.
Well, I think if we go into I think if we go into, and excuse my pronunciation of this, Commissioner Lett, but if we go into Ogma. Ogama, thank
Ogama.
you. Did not major in English. Ogama. If we can get 10,000 out of there, I think it satisfies the purpose of creating one of these central rural, more rural districts. And then, you know, it leaves the two to the west of that with it leaves about 40,000 people in there, and maybe we would then have those combined with a district south of this line, this regional line that we have.
Okay, so portion of Ogama.
I think so. But I'm not, you know, I'm not tied to that. If anyone has any other advice on where to go from here to get that extra, what is it, 11,000 people?
Yes.
Speak now.
By doing this, we're not.
Commissioner Clark, sorry.
I'm sorry. By doing this, we're not locking ourselves in up further north, are we?
No, I think it
Not at this
completes
point.
further north.
Everything's completed to the north.
It's really a question of, and maybe Commissioner Lane can help me with this, out of which parts of these 4 counties that we have left in this area are, you know, are more rural to combine to make this upper mid-Michigan district.
Are you talking District 8 that you're working on right now? That's
Yes.
what you're asking, the most rural? Misaki is very rural. Roscommon. I mean, you look at the central, your biggest towns are nowhere near. Let's put it like this, coming from the central counties, Traverse City is a big city. And Steve living from there will tell you that it's probably not as big as what we picture it as. So when you look at Cadillac and its population, that's kind of a big town slash city for us rural people. And I don't know, I keep going back to all of the comments we got about keeping rural as much as possible. And I think if there was ever a place to do that, it would be in central Michigan. I mean, you know, kind of this area we're working at now and part of the western and eastern regions in the center. So you guys just do your best judgment. And then once we get the communities of interest and the public input, obviously we're going to be making changes. So I can't direct you either way, Anthony. I can't.
No, thank you. I think that
Yeah.
actually helped.
Thank you, Commissioner Lang. Commissioner Witches.
Try taking, if suggestion just to see where we can get population moving down south, try taking the top row of all Misaki, Roscommon, and Ogama counties. Those townships.
You're gonna have to take from one of them, so just decide which one.
Well, I was gonna say, take the top row of all three of them to see if that gets you close, because those are gonna be very sparsely populated areas anyway. One particular row halfway isn't gonna get you anywhere near close to 10,000 people.
And you're going in different counties.
Well, when we were looking at the county populations, Commissioner Ede pointed out that Ogama was about 20,000, so you'd end up taking about half the population there if you were doing that. And then to Commissioner Witches's point, you could also do something similar by taking all three counties.
What would happen if we took all of, judging by what Commissioner Lang just said, what if we took all of Misaki County, or as much of it as possible, and then left the rest of it alone for them?
Sure, you could do that. You have a small corridor available for Cadillac in that circumstance. And then you could also, the last thing you put in before this was Oscoda. So you're over by about 4,800 people, which might be about that Oscoda County population.
Let's remove those two townships in Oscoda. Maybe we can later put those in the east.
Okay, that puts you right within just over 1%.
All right, I'm good with it.
Any comments or questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Lett.
Now we got Cadillac sitting down there and it's a little bitty bump out for Cadillac.
We could connect it with a different district south of Cadillac if we wanted to, on a different day, right? It would be, well, no, just because we'd be done with this region, which is where our stop point is. But
Could I ask a question?
Go ahead, Commissioner Lang.
I'm sorry, my hand doesn't always get seen. Couldn't it be possible, I mean, that splitting up Wexford County, that is just, the way that it's split up is just not settling well with me. Couldn't it be possible to extend 7 down just a little bit and maybe pick up Mason County? And maybe then we could leave Wexford County whole, because having it split like that with just that little bit of Cadillac, it just doesn't seem right to me. It's going to bother me. I'm sorry.
Commissioner Lang, just looking at the populations, that would probably be pretty close to what you would like. It would probably be pretty close to working.
Anthony, would you have a problem with trying that? Just so we can,
problem at all.
okay.
Okay, so we're going to revisit our District 7, and you're going to take all of Wexford out, and then you're going to put all of Mason in and see how that looks. Okay. Commissioner Reed, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that District 7 is over by 5,600. So depending on what you want to do, you could look at removing a township on the outer edge of that, or you could revisit the whole swap that we just made.
Commissioner Witches.
Recommend the top 4 townships of Lake County. See if that would get you close.
It's overpopulated at the moment.
I retract my statement.
What are the populations on those border townships?
In Mason, Manistee, or Grand Traverse?
I'd look corner of Manistee and then Mason, just that sort of
Okay.
eight there.
Okay, so again, the total number we're looking at removing from District 7, the green district, is 5,600. So these are fairly small. If you did a bunch of them, you get close. So, 2,500, 3,000, 4,300, like if you did this entire section, or you also look up here in Manistee, 1,500, 1,000. You have quite a way to go in Manistee. And just for completeness, even though I don't think you were asking about this, these are the township populations in Grand Traverse. So the last county that came into this configuration was Mason.
Can you take the 4 off the edge of Mason, Logan, Branch, Sheridan, whatever's above it? And let's see. Nope, the other way, up to the top. So Logan, Branch, and Sheridan.
Got it. Sorry.
It's okay. I want the ones that are more rural so we can put them into a more rural district. Yeah, so Meade, Sheridan, Branch, and Logan.
That'll probably be about 2,000 off, even less, 1,200 off. So that's, no, wait, 7, sorry. I was right, 2,600.
Okay, so let's stick with that and move back up to what I was working on before.
Okay, so now you can.
So now let's add all of
hang on.
Woodsum.
I think we just crashed out.
Oh, no.
Hopefully it's saved.
I doubt it,
Well, I
but
think the Zoom crashed. I don't know. Did you guys crash or did Zoom crash?
Zoom that crashed.
Zoom crashed.
okay. No. Yeah, no, it was the Audubon Edge.
So we have about 15 more minutes before we are scheduled to stop mapping for the night, but I think we're pretty close to getting done here with our draft maps.
Okay, give me a minute to reconstruct this.
instead of going into there, let's just add Wexford. and
Apologies for the
Milwaukee.
interruption. Could we get a screen share on Zoom as well before we proceed?
Yeah, one moment. I'm just trying to get back where we were, and then I'll do a save and then. Okay, I'm gonna put the share back on. Okay, Commissioner Reed. Just to review the state, so we did some changes in District 7, and we're revisiting District 8. So District 8 without any of Wexford is 8,500 under.
Okay, so let's add Wexford and Milwaukee.
If this is correct, then that's going to be
Yes.
substantially over. Okay.
We're gonna remove
Wex-
some
and
from
you're
the
going to
other
take out
side.
Crawford. Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
Understood. And then you're looking at taking out the balance of Oscoda, Crawford, and Otsego potentially. Okay.
Yep.
I'll take them out in reverse order. So Oscoda first. Okay, so at this point, it's 23,000 off. So you're looking at possibly taking Otsego out or something else?
It's 23,000 over,
Yes, that's correct.
and Otsego is 25,000 people.
Correct.
So let's remove it.
Okay. Okay, and that puts you at 1,500 under within the population deviation range?
I would, so we're under population here a little bit, and I think in all of the districts that we've drawn, we're a little bit under, or is it pretty even now? Because I wouldn't mind adding, a little bit more of Otsego to it if it lets us be even. But yeah, this generally is what I'm going for.
Okay, did you want to make that change or just leave this for the moment?
We can leave it for the moment and come back when we get closer to finalizing it.
Any questions, comments, proposed changes? All right, we have 10 more minutes, so let's move on to Commissioner Lang for the last district that we're going to draw tonight.
And Commissioner Ede, can you provide an explanation of the evolution of this district?
Yes, it creates a rural district outside the city of Traverse City and the county of Lenawee, and connects Antrim County all the way down to Wexford.
I think you meant Leelanau.
I did mean Leelanau, thank you. Lenawee is a completely different county near Monroe, so thank you.
All right, Commissioner Lang.
So I get what's left, so let's go Seago, Crawford, and what's left of Oscoda. Ross
That's
Common.
about.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Ross Common, yep. Okay, it's about
Ogama.
26,000 Ogama, okay.
And I hate splitting up so many counties, but I guess for now we have to. So can I get the first three plus the small township next to Ogama that's in Iosco?
Okay. Looks like Plainfield will get you most of the way there.
Okay, do Plainfield.
And then the balance down here will give another 2,000 about, so that should probably do it.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, so this is what you asked originally.
Yes.
And that should take you to about, yeah, there you go, 500.
Okay, and then just leave the rest, obviously, that will have to end up going to the next section probably.
Okay, so there's the district. I'm just going to put the counties back on, and there you go.
All right. Any questions or comments? Or Commissioner Lang, any additional changes you want to make to this?
Commissioner Eid.
Commissioner Eid?
Just as Commissioner Witches was saying, if you want, Commissioner Lang, you could go, instead of going east to Iosco, you could go south and take a little bit of Clare or Gladwin counties. And that way, when we reconvene or whenever we do that area, you might be able to preserve a little bit more of the, you know, the lakeshore on that side. But if that's something you'd want to do or not, I don't know.
No, I don't want to take away from the rural areas like Clare and Gladwin. So I think since a lot of people were saying that they would like to keep the lakeshore together, having it split off from the lakeshore and giving that lakeshore area to the lakeshore might be better than taking away from a central rural area. But can I make one comment about the top? Just something that I noticed going through our public comment that we had when we were in Gaylord. There was a lot of public comment that talked and asked about keeping Emmett, Charlevoix, and Antrim together as a community. They state there were several that had the same one. So maybe something to consider in the future. I know we're on our first drafts and this is not going to be our only draft. So kind of something to keep in mind when we get to the communities of interest, that we did have quite a few that spoke about those three particular counties. But that's all I've got.
All right. Go ahead, Department of State. See you about to ask your question.
Hello, Commissioner Lang. Could you provide an explanation of your District 9?
Well, it's what was left. I'm hoping that these will satisfy some of the rural communities, and I'm hoping that they have things in common and that this is a good mix for them. I guess public comment will tell, but if I'm being 100% honest, there was really no rhyme nor reason. It was basically, these were the counties that were left in that particular region.
Thank you.
Commissioner Witches.
I'm just gonna say it one more time. That's the reason why I said we need to turn the blue lines off, because we are not supposed to be bound by the actual regions. So if you needed to go down or over and around, you could have, anyone could have, and I said, we're gonna follow a line in blue in the middle, and it's exactly what we actually did.
Well, I think Commissioner Lang was clear that she did that because she was trying not to, she had reasons that there was a line there. It wasn't because she saw the line and didn't think she could go over it. It's that she was trying to keep it more rural. Is that accurate, Commissioner Lang? If I'm missummarizing you, please let me know.
Oh, that's completely accurate. You know, we needed to get those counties up there. We can't draw ourselves into a corner. And I am very familiar, like I said, I have lived in the next section of counties, probably 5 out of the next section of the west and the east counties. So those are where I'm very familiar with. So I would like to keep those together, or not keep them together. Let me rephrase that. I know how rural they are, and I know that they have a lot in common. So it just seems like farther north, those counties would probably have more in common than what they would with the west and the east central counties. So the region actually did work out for that, but I'm not one that, obviously you saw my first jab at the Senate. I'm not one that's worried about those region lines myself.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Lang. So do we want to try to finish that little area, or do we just want to stop for the night? I know we were supposed to stop at 7:45, so I feel like everybody's packing up and ready to go. So we have one little spot left for the House districts, but we can pick that up when we move on to the next districts. So good work, guys. And let's continue through our agenda. I don't even know what I did with my agenda at this point. There it is. Okay. All right. So next on our agenda is review and approval of minutes. We have no minutes to approve at this time, so we will move on to the next item, which is staff reports. If there is no objection, I would like to ask our Communications and Outreach Director, Edward Woods III, to give a report today. Please proceed, Mr. Woods.
Good evening. I want to talk to you a little bit about the public hearings. We're trying to get those contracts signed, and we needed to move some dates, or some dates around, but it's still in the same areas. And so just wanted to put this out for the record, just to see if there's any concerns with regards to the public comment, the public hearings and the dates. We have not set times for those yet. That would be something done by the commission, but we would be looking at doing something, if just in case we have to have a meeting or anything along those lines. So might be starting at 12 or 1 o'clock and then ending at 4, and then coming back from a 5 to 8 is what's being considered. We will come back more for a formal presentation with regards to that. Starting on October 11th, we would be at the Dort Center in Flint, Michigan. Once again, October 11th, we would be at the Dort Center in Flint, Michigan. On October 12th, we would be at Gaylord at Treetop Resorts. Once again, on October 12th, we would be at Gaylord at Treetop Resorts. Then on October 14th, we would be at Northern Michigan University. I repeat, Northern Michigan University in Marquette. That would be the schedule for the first week. Knowing that you can't see it and you're consulting your calendars, are there any questions with regards to the first week through the chair that we can address at this time?
I'm seeing no questions.
All right. The second week would be October 18th. The second week would be October 18th. We would start at the Grand Rapids, and we would be at the Amway Hotel. And so I know that there's a preference to having the ability to walk to the spot from your room. So we would be at the Amway Hotel on the 18th. The 19th, we would be in Kalamazoo at the Radisson Plaza and Conference Center. That'd be another similar situation. And then on the 21st of October, and I will email this to you so you have it, we'll be in Lansing at the Lansing Center. So what we have done is we've reserved these facilities but have not signed contracts so that we can have commission approval. So right now they do have holds, but they're going to eventually want a contract. And that's why we're bringing it to you today. Through the chair, if there's any questions on the second week, I can take them at this time.
I am seeing no questions.
In the last week, which would be October 25th, that Monday, we would be in Warren, Michigan at the Macomb Community College John Lewis Conference Center. We'd be at Warren, Michigan at the Macomb Community College at the John Lewis Conference Center. On Tuesday, the 26th of October, we would be in Livonia at the Schoolcraft College, Livonia at Schoolcraft College. And then we would end on Thursday, October 28th at the TCF Center in Detroit. The TCF Center in Detroit.
You said that was the Thursday.
Thursday, October 28th. So if you look at the schedule, it's a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule versus a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we wanted to provide sure we had adequate travel times, obviously to the UP and some of the other areas. So it's a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule.
What were those first, October 11, 12 that week? What were they again?
October 11th, we're going to be at the Dort Center in Flint, Michigan. October 12th, we'll be at Treetop Resorts in Gaylord. And October 14th, we'll be at Northern Michigan University in Marquette.
Thank you.
Just for a point of clarity, Commissioner, the Marquette wasn't available on the 11th. And so we weren't going to do a zigzag. We were just trying to find some order.
I'm sorry, you guys, my hand's up, but I know it's hard to see it, my virtual hand. Edward, can I ask you a question real quick? This is Rhonda.
I know exactly who you are. Good evening.
Good evening. These are just changes in the dates, is that right?
Right. Well, the locations have changed because some of them were booked.
Okay.
And so, and it's actually in our favor, to be honest with you, in terms of cost.
Okay. And you're going to provide us a copy then of these?
I'll provide you with a list. And I'm hearing from our general counsel resolution. We just want to make sure, and we'll provide that for you on Monday.
Okay.
But we just want to move forward, with regards to these contracts, because these facilities are getting requests quickly because of the change,
So just to clarify, the action item will be a resolution that we will receive on Monday, which will give us the dates and everything, but you're just advising us right now.
Right, and if there's a major objection, I'm also saying, please share it now so that I can be aware. Madam Chairperson, if there's a major objection, it would be good to know now.
So I think what Edward is saying is speak now or forever hold your peace if you have major objections, so he can start letting these facilities know that we are intending to sign an agreement with them, even though he does not have authority to do that just yet. And Commissioner Lang, feel free to speak up because I actually can't see you on the screen at all. So if you have your hand up, I can't see it. So if you have some concerns, please let us know.
Edward, because I don't have the list in front of me, what ones were not available?
The Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi.
Novi, okay.
MRCC Banquet and Convention Center in Warren. So when you take a look at them combined, and where we're going, we're actually saving money.
Okay. Are any of those, I see we still got Warren, so that's good. Are any of the other ones, I'm assuming it was replaced with Livonia?
Yeah, Livonia is adjacent to Novi.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask because I'm not familiar, so I could just imagine, especially after having Novi listed, if it wasn't close, it might cause the public to be a little upset, so thank you. That answered my question perfectly.
Thank you.
All right, any other updates, Edward?
Yes, we'll be providing you with an itinerary for our universities. You know, our university things kick off next week. We'll be at the University of Michigan to kick off on September 2nd. And we will be in the ballroom. Let me make sure I give you the right one because I want to give you the right spot because we're no longer in the Pendleton room. We'll be in the Rogel Ballroom, ROGEL Ballroom, which is on the second floor, which is a larger room than the Pendleton room.
All right.
And so just want you to know that because there's some excitement with the universities going from spot to spot across the state. So you'll probably start hearing their own communications department talking about it more and being more in the news. But there's also anticipation with that particular spot because of the presentation by Dr. Lisa Hanley with regards to racial polarization voting and the Voting Rights Act in terms of that analysis that she's going to deliver.
Okay.
That's
All
all I
right,
have.
that's all you have? All right, thank you very much. Without objection, I'll ask Sarah Reinhardt from the Michigan Department of State if she has a report. Hearing no objections, please proceed, Ms. Reinhardt.
I have no report.
That was a none.
Yeah, sorry, I have no report.
All right, correspondence received in advance of our meeting today was provided along with written public comments to the commissioners in our meeting materials. It's my understanding that there are no future agenda items to share at this time because most of our agenda was covered by our communications director. Are there any announcements? Commissioner Eid?
So just one announcement for clarity, because since this meeting started, on the public comment portal, we've gotten literally 7 pages of people saying, don't shut the public comment portal tools down. That's never what we were gonna do. And we're not shutting it down. So just for clarity.
All right, thank you. General Counsel.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Again, I know that there was a passing reference, a question today from the entity, the representative from the entity that it is associated with the portal, MGGG. The portal, the commission has not indicated that the portal is going to be shut down. It is not appropriate to shut the portal down until the commission's work has been concluded. The commission will be receiving public comment through the portal, as well as submissions for COIs, maps, statewide maps, district maps. Encourage the public to engage the commission through the portal continuously through this process. The public engagement is a key component of the constitutional amendment for redistricting, and it has not been decided when the portal will be shut down. It has not even been discussed by this commission because this is not the appropriate time, and we are not even near the appropriate time to be discussing that. So anyone who has reference to that, rest assured that that is not occurring, and it will not occur. And when it does occur at the appropriate time, that will be publicized and notifications will be given. The public can also submit public comment through the PO box, as well as the portal. So those mechanisms, as well as in-person public comment or remote public comment. The commission is accessible to the public and will remain accessible to the public throughout this process. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, General Counsel. All right, as the items on the agenda are completed and the commission has no further business, a motion to adjourn is in order. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I think there was a motion by Commissioner Lett, seconded by Commissioner Witches. Is there any debate or discussion on the motion? All in favor, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. All opposed, raise your hand and say nay. The ayes prevail and the meeting is adjourned at 7:57 PM. Thank you, everybody.